A quick reaction to Real Madrid versus Man City draw reaction and perhaps prediction.
You know, I'm not trying to be contrarian here.
Right, okay.
Because we have others on this show that are way more contrarian than me.
Right. Yes.
This is a great game, of course it is. But we've seen this movie. I'm actually, we're going to talk about it, I know, but I'm personally actually looking forward to the Arsenal-Bayern game.
Right.
Because I just, with this one, I'm looking and saying, what's changed for Real Madrid?
Yes.
What's changed enough from last season where Man City battered them? I mean, it was quite embarrassing. Are they any better? Although they're probably going to win the league this year that they didn't last year, but that's because others have regressed. Are they in a better place to take Man City on than they were last year? I'm not sure they are.
Well, no, especially...
I'm not sure if Craig is watching Real Madrid this season. Because if you watch Real Madrid, you would notice that this team is at least performing better than last season. Maybe on paper, this team has some lackings, but in reality, this team is playing much better than last season.
So when you say Courtois, obviously Militao as well.
So I'm kind of wondering at the moment, is this going to be about City's mentality, or are Real Madrid actually going to try and take them on toe-to-toe? Because they tried that last year and got the pants taken down.
Again, I don't know if Craig is suffering from some dementia or same kind of illness. Here's the thing. Last season, Real Madrid was demolished at Etihad. Not because they were going toe-to-toe, just because they didn't go toe-to-toe. The main reason Real Madrid was battered at Etihad is because this team was defending so deep, just sitting deep, no attacking. That's why. It was totally the opposite of what Craig is saying.
It's interesting in that the deficit was so big last year in that second leg. It's like, what has changed? What will be different?
Well, I mean, to that point, I don't think City are as good as they were last season.
Sure.
I don't think Haaland has hit the heights that he was 12 months ago. Defensively, well, yes, they kept a clean sheet against Newcastle. Clean sheets have been few and far between for Manchester City during the course of this season. So you just wonder. But I still think, well, coming into this, I thought those were the two best teams left in the competition. And to see them go head to head a little bit earlier maybe than most would have liked, I still think it's an intriguing matchup. One that I think I will save up all kinds.
Thank you, Shaka, for pointing out the obvious point that this City team is not the same team like last season. Also, regarding this Real Madrid team last season versus this season, if you look at our midfield, last season, why we lost against City, one of the reasons, not the reason, was our midfield. Our midfield was old. They did not have the legs to play against City. But if you look at our midfield this season, we are far better. We probably have the best midfield depth in Europe this season. And to add with what Shaka said, the City is not the same team like last season. Absolutely. I mean, look at Haaland's performance this season. His performance is not same compared to last season. Beyond that, even if you look at City's performance this season, if you look at their performance at away games in PL, they drew against Chelsea and they drew against Liverpool and they lost against Arsenal at Arsenal's home. So their performance is not equally good also. Besides, some of their key players who were fundamental in their Champions League campaign are not with them. Gundogan, right? He was phenomenal for them last season. And then Mahrez, he's not there.
Craig made a good point when we were talking about this game last week, is that considering the demolition that Manchester City produced on Real Madrid last season, has Real Madrid progressed enough to change that? And there is an argument to say they've actually regressed.
Yes. Well, Ancelotti has to get his tactics better than he did in that game at the Etihad, where he allowed Manchester City all the possession. They were too open. He had players on the field that weren't very good defensively. Modric was outrun on that occasion.
So I just don't understand where this point is coming from. Like, Real Madrid regressed from last season. Like, if you look at our stats, we're better in everywhere. Like, we're top of the La Liga title. And overall, we're playing much better football than last season. So I just don't understand why someone is pointing out that we regressed. Like, why?
So he's got to get his tactics absolutely right against Man City. And few coaches ever know exactly how to play against Manchester City. Real Madrid, I think, are a good side at the moment. They're scoring goals. They're playing some good football. Vinicius Junior, who has been excellent for them. They've got their midfield sorted out. They'll probably have Bellingham back in the side. but I can't see them beating Manchester City. Manchester City are going to be too good for them over the two legs, and I think it's going to be the same fate for Real Madrid as it was last season.
So I have nothing against Robo's choice or prediction who is going to win this tie, because anyone can win, right? So if he chooses Man City, that's totally fine. You can pick anyone you want.
Well, the blueprint really was what Liverpool did at Anfield.
Yeah.
But can't, you know, what Liverpool did in their pressing game, we saw the Rodris, the Bernardo Silvas, the Kevin De Bruynes and others as frustrated and as sloppy on the ball as we have done any other time this season, right? By a long way. Now, they didn't win the game, Liverpool, but they damn well should have done. The question is, does Real Madrid have that ability and energy in the side? I mean, I suppose if Modric won't play, but you'd imagine Toni Kroos will play. If it's Camavinga and Valverde and it's Rodrigo and Vinicius up front and Bellingham if he's fit and where they should be, have those have got the youthfulness, but have they got the appetite to go and do that, play that pressing game and really ask questions that Liverpool asked Man City? If they don't, why would it be any different, as Stuart said, to City having this
Without
possession?
Militao, without...
So this is important. Let's discuss about this. In fact, the game City played against Liverpool, that kind of exposed City's weakness. In that game, when I was watching, I'm like, wow, is City the same City we used to know? Because that almost no chance. Liverpool totally nullified. And one way that was possible, playing high press football and not letting what City loves to do, like having possession football. If you don't allow City to play possession football, they will struggle. That's 100%. So if we were to beat City, we also have to play similar play style, like high pressing, and stop any attack they want to have. Second, we have to totally nullify or neutralize De Bruyne. De Bruyne is the key player for Man City's chance creation. In that game, De Bruyne was totally isolated, and we have to do the same thing. The other point Craig mentioned, that does this Real Madrid have energy or capacity to play similar play style? Why not? We have one of the youngest midfield core. These players are energetic. Like, how many players you know in the world has more like work rate than Fede Valverde? Like, who can run forever? And then you have Tchouaméni and you have Bellingham. I mean, this is insane midfield, I would say.
Courtois.
And then you're prodding at the weaknesses. Yeah. And I think from Real Madrid's perspective is you've got to try the best defense. The best defense is a strong offense, and keeping and what they've done in some big games this season, Real Madrid. And thinking back to the big game against Girona recently, which at the time was a sort of top two clash, they did not allow Girona near to their back four. They stifled him up the other end of the field. So they kept him away from the weak point in their side. And Carvajal played centre half that day. That's what they have to try and do against City, is keep the Silvas, the De Bruynes, the Dokus, the Erling Haalands, is keep them isolated and away from Real Madrid's penalty box. Because once they get around there, then that's when these guys tend to pick these brilliant passes.
Here, I have to a little bit concede with that point, because if you look at our defense, we don't have the best defense right now because a lot of our key players, key defenders are injured. However, the other players we have, Rudiger is insane form. That's huge for Real Madrid. And if we can have another good player, I think Militao might be back in second leg. I don't know if he can play first leg. If he would be able to play first leg, that would be insane for us. However, don't forget, we won against Girona by 4 goals. Carvajal as a centre back. You might say maybe against Man City that's not ideal. However, don't forget, when we won against Man City 2 years ago, when we had incredible comeback, you remember Vallejo was playing as a centre back in extra time. So anything is possible.
City are the biggest favourites of all the quarter-finalists to make the semis of the competition. Ali, do you think that's fair against a 14-time champion?
Oh, it seems like you're leading the witness here, okay? Yeah. I tell you what, not that watching these draws are a very interesting experience, but it was interesting to see the reaction of Chiqui Begiristain, representing Manchester City in the draw, when you see that they're playing Real Madrid, and his reaction was like, and look.
Absolutely. Man City is the probably one team we wanted to play the least in quarterfinal. However, same thing can be said for Man City. We're the last team they wanted to play because in Champions League, when it comes to Champions League, this team is different beast, right?
How does he set them up, Real Madrid? How does Carlo Ancelotti set up Real Madrid against this Man City side?
Absorb pressure. And it's something that Carlo Ancelotti has done in the past. You're going to have to absorb pressure. You're going to have to win the ball in good areas and exploit some of the things that Manchester City have exposed this season defensively and have been exposed time and time again. If they lose the ball in a bad area and you get Bellingham running with the ball and then you get Vini running with the ball, now you're cooking if you're Real Madrid. Now you're in business. But the other side of that is, if Manchester City have all the possession, if they control the dynamics of the game, if they control the pace of the game, they take some of your best players out of the game. In the case of Toni Kroos, if they take him out of the game, then there is no control for Real Madrid. If there's no control for Real Madrid, then they have difficulties really maintaining the pace of the game, maintaining the rhythm of the game, and that's when I think they get in trouble. Manchester City should be favorites, and rightfully so.
So the question, how Real Madrid can win against City? LA pointed out that absorb pressure then attack. However, absorbing pressure, I'm fine with that. But absorbing pressure doesn't mean we have to just sit back like last time we did. Last year, when we played the first leg for 70 minutes, we were the better team, right? When we were playing at Bernabeu, at our home. Because we were playing attacking football. We just did not sit back. In fact, we were controlling those 70 minutes. And when we decided to sit back last 30 minutes, that's when Man City played what they can do, like possession football, and did something. And then going to second leg, our tactics was so horrendous that we were so defensive that even Vinicius was talking to Carlo. Carlo, what are we doing? Why we're just defending? So only way we can win against City, play head to head, play with absolutely no fear.
How do you think Man City do feel about this? So obviously, with what happened last year, do you think that's in their minds now and it's not quite the hurdle they may have once thought it was?
Yeah, I think so. I saw the same body language that Ali just mentioned on Becker-Stein, and we saw it with other representatives of certain clubs. But I think they will know that what happened last season, and especially that second leg at the Etihad in the semi-final where they just humiliated them. I was there. It was at times embarrassing from a Real Madrid point of view to see how much better City were. So I think not much have changed in terms of the dynamic. Really, we know exactly what City are going to do. They have the intensity and the pressing, especially to cause a lot of problems to Real Madrid. It's the same format again. Bernabeu first, the Etihad second, which I think benefits City. I'm not sure Real Madrid are press resistant enough to beat that intensity and that press from City, as we saw in the second leg last season. And even if you add Jude Bellingham, you've lost Benzema, you've lost Courtois, you've lost the players that Ali just mentioned. And I'm just not sure over two legs what Real Madrid will have to do. We'll have to find solutions to be able to beat the City. Of course, you can beat City on one game. Over two games, I'm not so sure that Real Madrid have enough, even with Vini, even with Bellingham, even with Valverde and a midfield that can have energy. I'm still not sure they are equipped enough really to knock out this City team.
Listen, Man City is one of the most dangerous teams you can play against, right? However, being said that, if there's one team that can beat Man City in two legs, it's Real Madrid. I think Jules is kind of underestimating this Real Madrid team. However, we have seen that before, right? Many times, many pundits always try to underestimate Real Madrid. But this Real Madrid team, they don't care. So as you saw, most of the pundits have chosen Man City over Real Madrid, which is kind of expected because Man City is the current Champions League winner, right? So most people would choose them. I have no problem with that. I think only Xhaka picked Real Madrid. I'm not sure, but he at least said some good things about Real Madrid. Now, let me give you my opinion about this tie. What's possible, what's not possible. First of all, most pundits totally sidestepped one key player for Real Madrid's success this season so far, Jude Bellingham. The addition of Jude Bellingham changed the whole dynamic of this team this season. In fact, when Benzema left and then Militao got injured, Alaba got injured, Courtois got injured, we did not see any hope. We did not expect anything from this team. But Carlo found out that playing Bellingham in a specific role totally changed the dynamic how Real Madrid plays. So that's one key point, right? That's one improvement that Real Madrid had over last season. Being said that, despite we have some weakness at our defense, because we have better midfield overall, I said we can definitely fight 50-50 against Man City. However, the biggest important point is our tactics, how we play against Man City. If we decide to just play defensively like last season in second leg, we're out. We're doomed. We have no option of winning this tie. Only way we can win this tie is playing aggressive, attacking football, playing without fear, playing with that Real Madrid DNA. Even if something goes against you in the match, you have to be calm and composed. And remember that this is Real Madrid. We can come back anytime, any moment, like 2 seasons ago. Anyway, let me know what do you think about this tie. Who do you think will eventually